answering your questions, these are from Instagram. When is a time when you had to think on your feet in the music industry? How did this go? I think many times. Career-wise, when I kind of had to think on my feet was when I basically quit being a musician, even though it wasn't like a rush decision. You know, I had it in my heart, I want to say, for a long time. When the moment came to actually make the decision, that felt like, you know, I had to think on my feet. But it did go well, I guess, because I already was mixing and mastering, so I had my plan B, so to speak. But it was more of a choice because I've always loved the studio life before. As for everyday work, I think I find myself having to think on my feet like almost every mix and almost every recording session, because almost nothing goes as planned. Actually, I think one of the biggest skills that an engineer has to have is problem solving, because even just to pick a vocal chain for a singer that you never worked with, right? You throw a chain, a microphone, a preamp, or a compressor, or an EQ, and the singer goes on and it doesn't work for some reason, right? And you have to think on your feet, like what's now? Because many times, especially when you work with like higher up musicians, they don't have time. You can't mess around too much. You can't like sit and say, oh, I'm gonna try this 4 compressors here and these 3 EQs and see which one works, or these 5 compressor. You kind of have to be ready, and you have to be quick, because many times, like especially they are on tour, they have like little time, they have to record or something. It usually goes well, otherwise I probably wouldn't have a job. But mixing wise, same thing. You have a picture when you start a mix, when you start a project or even a production. You have a picture in mind of how it's gonna be, how it's supposed to sound at the end, and you kind of have an idea of how to get there. And more often than not, it's not a straight line. Things happen in a mix that, you know, you hear things that you didn't hear in the rough or at a first listen to the tracks. You have to solve problems. Maybe something is, you know, is being recorded not ideally, something had crazy noises or something like that. Or maybe the producer sent the tracks to mix and two sounds clash with each other, but he wants to keep them both. So you kind of have to make it work. And again, usually goes well, but it's definitely constantly thinking on your feet. I think this answered the question, and thank you guys for asking. If you have any question for the Q&A, leave it in the comment down below. Consider using the super thanks, support the channel, click the join button to access the exclusive content. Many new mixing courses are coming your way. Subscribe if you haven't already. Stay safe, see you next time.
Hands on my neck, hands grab my throat. Lift me up, man, take control. Heart is so gone, my type. Don't you know I fall for the bad type? You play the role of an angel pretty well, but I can say you can't.